Alright, hey guys, Aquatic Bob's here. How many of you know that life happens, right? Sometimes things happen and you're just not prepared for it. And anyways, before I get too much into that, I just want to do a little update video for you guys tonight. Not just an update on my tank, but update a little bit on my life. And I know that it's not conventional for a lot of people online to talk about their personal life, but we all have one, right? We all have a personal life, and I believe sometimes that's how we connect with each other better, is through personal experience and testimony. And sometimes just one good word of something that someone else has gone through or going through can be the encouragement that we need in the moment to get through what it is that we're going through. And so anyways, I'd like it if you guys would be willing to subscribe. I would really like it, really appreciate it. It would help the channel out, help me out, be encouraging. And yeah, so here we go. I'm taking a risk here, but anyways, I just found out on this last week, earlier in the week, my wife and I had a miscarriage, and really sad story. And I know that's not why we watch videos about coral, but there's a point to it. And 2 days later, I found out that my dad's got cancer, and it's kidney cancer, so it's not like super terrible. But according to some of the images, the early images that they've taken, shows that it might have spread to some of the lymph nodes around his kidney, and which isn't good. It's that's when it starts to get out of control. And so we're just waiting. Speaking of cancer, this coral, the one from shipping, that was in shipping for 2 days because there was a delay with FedEx, which seems to be more and more common lately, wound up not making it. So that's pretty sad. But yeah, so my dad not doing well. I mean, really hurting. And it's really kind of put me in a tough spot here, because I feel like my dad and I were going into business together to start, building some really big tanks, starting a business together. And I was asking a lot of him, and I really needed him and his help on a lot of this. And now that he's, we've got the bad news, I mean, that's my dad. I don't want to ask him and have him push him, like to do something, especially when some days he's just having a hard time keeping his head up. So it can be difficult when you have cancer. I've had a few family members, and it can be very difficult at times, especially if you have to start treatment. So, but with that being said, all right, now we're past the funky stuff and the hard to hear stuff. But with that being said, we're going to continue with the business. We're going to move forward with it, and it just might not grow as quick as originally planned, which is all right. And that means that we'll have time to foolproof a lot more of it, and we'll be prepared. And when we rush into things, it seems like that's when we make the most mistakes. And I've always struggled with that in life, man. I've always been very hasty in a lot of my decision making, impulsively. And it's got me in trouble, and I've had to learn some hard lessons. And so all in all, this might be a good way to help keep me from having to go through another hard lesson on that. But either way, I'm just thankful that I have a dad, who cares so much about me and about what I care about. And listen, I'm 31 or 32. Isn't that terrible? I'm not even that old, and I forgot my age. I think I'm 32. But I was born in May of '89. So, but yeah, my dad's really put a lot of heart and care into the things that I care about and the things that I appreciate. And that's part of why he wanted to help support me and go into this business together as partners. And so I just want my dad to be all right, and he sure has had a good attitude, and he's been an encouragement in this tough time, even though he's the one that's really been put through the ringer. We did have that miscarriage, and then 2 days later found out about this. But you know, it's in our moments of weakness that we're stretched and put through the ringer, and that in those moments is when we get strengthened and when we become stronger. And just like the Marines say, pain is weakness leaving the body. No, that's not my life motto, but there's some truth to it at times. So anyways, guys, that's what's going on with the business. If you've listened to me throughout this video so far, in the 6 minutes so far, I really appreciate you, because sometimes we just need someone to listen to us. And I understand if that was hard for you to hear and maybe you just didn't want to hear it. I hope it doesn't defer you from the channel, but just want to be real. I'm kind of in a bad spot, kind of hurting right now. And I just noticed that I didn't set up my top light, so hold on 1 second, I'll be right back. It's going to be a big color difference. Okay, yeah, I'm back. So I had to, my Reef Bright strip was over the back of the tank, and I just wanted to move it back up to the front, and it was all because of this guy down here. The pencil urchin decided to roll through town, knocked this whole coral plug out the cotton candy torch. So I have to wait for him to move to be able to put the coral back in its little hole right there. And sometimes it's a day or two before he moves out, so might have to force him out. But yeah, so like I said, just kind of in a rough spot right now. And I think today was the first day where I kind of stopped feeling bad for myself and just said, you know what, there's so many good things in life. There's a lot of good things. I've really been blessed by God and watched out for our family, taken care of, and despite some of the sicknesses and illnesses, man, we've had a great life, some great opportunities, part of a great church, part of a great fellowship, and just a lot of people who really, over the last couple of weeks, have just been a huge blessing and support. So thank you to those of you who have really reached out to encourage us and be a blessing to us, and I hope God does unto you as you've done to us. So thank you for that. And yeah, so again, it's been a weird video. I understand that. And if you're still watching, man, I so appreciate you. Just know you've made my day. All right, you've made my day. I might not know you by name. I might not even know you at all. But you're not just another subscriber to me. Each one of you, each view that I get from you guys is really a blessing to me, and I just want you guys to know that I appreciate it big time. So thank you guys. Thanks for watching the video. Really was just a short update, and we're working on some cool videos right now, putting those aquariums together, the plywood aquariums with Pond Armor epoxy paint, and some fragging videos, and expanding the tank. And I'll just show you guys this really quick and then we'll be done for the night. But here's what happens when you get distracted in life. And you can see it a little bit here. The water level is below that bottom marker. Before this, it was actually down to about there, which is probably about 1.5 gallons lower than the line should be. And that's because I unplugged the auto top off and forgot to plug it back in last night because I was messing around with some stuff. Look at that's overflowing too. But so yeah, it's there's been a lot going on. I've been distracted, and that's kind of what happens. This hobby, it really can ask a lot, but that's all right. I was able to correct things. The water level had been dropping for probably 14 hours, 15 hours, and it dropped 1.5 gallons. Thankfully, it's a large system, large volume. I probably got about 125 overall gallons of water in this system, and was able to get it back on track, and just slowly been adding water. So probably within the next 30 minutes I'll just raise it the rest of the way back up to the line. But I could tell, like, I knew something was wrong, because these A-cans were not as fluffy as they normally have been. Some of these other ones were not, and I could just tell some of the corals were just not looking like they normally do, and that was weird. I wish this circus freak acro from Top Shelf Aquatics is just getting some crazy colors, but of course it's on the opposite side. You can see a little bit there, but yeah, so I mean, we gotta just pay attention, right? We gotta stick with it even if life does happen. So lesson learned. Another good experience to share is sometimes, you know, while you're doing your checks at night or whatever, you just gotta stay focused. So all right, guys, thanks, appreciate you again, and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Again, please subscribe to the channel. We greatly appreciate that. And Aquatic Bob's out.